You're listening to Dear English Radio. I'm Nora. If find already means discover something, why does English add out in find out?
And I'm Eli. Stay with us, because today we're building one map for find out, leave out, run out, figure out, and several phrases you may never have studied.
If you like English that connects ideas instead of giving you another list, subscribe to the station. At the end, we'll test the map with real situations.
Our question comes from a listener in his 30s. He uses English at work, and he writes, I can understand, find, I can understand, work, I can understand, run.
Then English adds out, and suddenly run out, has no running, work out, may have no office work, and find out, may have no lost object.
He asks, is out doing real work, or is it just standing there because English likes extra words?
It is doing real work. The difficult part is that it does not perform the same job in every expression.
So there is a logic, but there is not one magic definition.
Right. Think of a family, not a formula. Family members share features, but they are not copies of one another.
And some relatives are much easier to recognize than others.
Especially after they change their hair and arrive 20 years late.
That sounds very specific, Nora.
We'll talk after the program.
Fair enough. What is the starting picture in this family?
For our present-day map, start with a boundary. Something is inside a place, and then it is outside that place.
A key comes out of a drawer. A person walks out of a room. A letter comes out of an envelope.
From that physical scene, English builds several connected ideas. Something can move outward, become visible, leave a group, disappear from a supply, or reach a result we can finally see.
Before we build those branches, one warning. This map helps us organize current meanings. It does not prove the exact historical birth of every phrase.
And it will not let you guess every expression perfectly. You still need the full sentence and a good learner's dictionary.
Good. A map, not a fortune-telling machine.
Imagine a small wooden box on the desk. A blue card is inside it.
I take the card.
That tells us about your action. But where does the card end?
We do not know yet.
Now say, I take the card out.
The card ends outside the box. Take gives the action. Out gives the path or final position.
Exactly. The box does not even need to be named if both speakers can infer it. If I say, take your phone out, you may understand out of your pocket or out of your bag from the situation.
In that analysis, the researchers describe the central scene this way. One thing is exterior to a bounded region.
Exterior simply means outside. A bounded region is a place with an inside and an outside.
A room has walls. A drawer has sides. A pocket has an opening. Those are easy boundaries.
Other boundaries are ideas. A list has members and non-members. A plan contains some options and excludes others. A supply contains something we can still use.
So the physical box becomes a model for less physical situations.
Yes, their corpus-based study examined real examples from selected combinations with up and out. Their analysis found that the verb and particle both contribute to meaning.
That matters. Learners sometimes stare only at the particle and forget the verb.
In, take out, take, gives one kind of action. In, walk out, walk, gives another. In, spread out, spread, gives another.
Out does not erase those differences. It shapes them.
Here is our 3-question test. First, what does the base verb contribute?
Second, what boundary, set, supply, hidden area, or unfinished problem might be present?
Third, what is true at the end? Is something outside, wider, visible, excluded, gone, or resolved?
verb, boundary, and scene.
Keep those 3 questions. We'll use them all the way through.
Let's begin with the branch closest to the physical picture.
Pull the drawer out. The drawer moves from the cabinet toward the exterior.
Take the bread out. The bread moves from an oven, bag, or cupboard to an exterior place.
Walk out of the room. The person crosses the room's boundary.
In these examples, out gives information that the base verb does not give by itself.
Now place 6 chairs close together in the center of a room.
They are blocking the table.
I say, spread the chairs out. What changes?
The chairs move away from the tight center and cover a wider area.
Cambridge defines spread out as moving from a close group into different places across a larger area.
This is still spatial, but the picture has changed slightly. We are not watching one object leave one box. We are watching a compact group extend outward.
The same outward pattern helps with lay out the papers. You arrange them on a surface instead of leaving them in a pile.
And hand out the papers means distribute them from one person to several people.
Notice the verb differences. Lay focuses on placing. Hand focuses on giving. Spread focuses on increasing the area.
The particle supports an outward arrangement or distribution, but the verb tells us which event we are watching.
Quick test. You are in a meeting. Everyone has moved to one corner and half the room is empty. What might the manager say?
Please spread out a little.
Now there are 10 printed schedules in one pile. Everyone needs one.
Could you hand them out?
Good. And you just heard an important grammar pattern. Hand them out, not hand out them.
We'll return to that pattern near the end.
Put the blue card back inside the closed box. Can you see it?
No,
Can you easily use it?
not while the box is closed.
Take it out. Now it is outside, visible, and available.
Those ideas often travel together in ordinary experience. What is hidden inside can become visible outside.
Mahapekar and Tyler describe connected visibility, accessibility, and knowing senses for out. Something that becomes visible can be examined. Information that was hidden can become known.
That gives us a path from space to knowledge, inside and hidden, then outside and known.
Listen to point out. Cambridge explains it as making someone notice a person or thing.
If Nora points out a small error in my schedule, the error was already on the page. She moves it into my attention.
I am not physically pulling the error from a box. I am making it mentally visible to you.
Please point it out gently.
I always do.
Your red pen disagrees.
The pen has its own personality.
Now, find out. Cambridge defines it as getting information or learning a fact.
Compare 2 sentences. I found my keys. The object is the keys. I discovered their location, and now I have found the objects.
I found out where my keys were. Here, the thing I gained is information. I learned the answer to a question.
That is why find and find out are not freely interchangeable in every sentence. The whole grammar pattern matters.
We commonly say, find out that the meeting was canceled, find out why the door is locked, or find out about the new policy.
The result is knowledge becoming available to the learner.
What about the secret got out?
The secret moved from unknown to known. No one needs to imagine a real box, but the hidden to visible pattern is easy to feel.
And then we reach figure out.
Cambridge describes figure out as finally understanding something or finding a solution after thought. It is usually informal.
I can figure out a password problem, figure out why a bill is wrong, or figure out how to use a new machine.
The memory picture is that an answer comes out of an unclear problem and becomes available to the mind.
Is that a proven history of the phrase?
No, It is a useful present-day connection. Figure out is also a conventional combination, which means English speakers have learned and stored the expression through use.
So I can use the visibility branch to remember it, but I should not claim that one person invented the phrase by pulling an answer from a box.
Exactly. Meaning, logic and historical proof are different jobs.
Our next container is a list.
Imagine 5 names inside a large circle. Those people are included in a dinner plan.
My name is outside the circle.
Then your name has been left out.
That sounds sadder than a grammar lesson should.
Do not worry. You are hosting the dinner.
Then I am outside the guest list for a good reason.
Cambridge defines leave someone or something out as not including that person or thing.
A recipe is another kind of set. If you leave the sugar out, the sugar is not included in the recipe.
A report is a set of information. If the report leaves out an important cost, that cost stays outside the information given to the reader.
Compare, leave the office, and leave one name out. In the first, the person departs from a place. In the second, the item is not included with the rest.
The base verb, object, and particle work together. We should not pretend that leave keeps exactly one identical meaning in both patterns.
Now, rule out.
Imagine 3 possible dates for an event. Friday is impossible because the building is closed. We draw a line through Friday and move it outside the set of possible dates.
We have ruled Friday out.
Cambridge says, rule out can mean deciding that something is impossible, unsuitable, or will not happen.
The base verb adds judgment or decision. Out helps present the option as outside the remaining set.
That is different from leave out. If I leave Friday out of my email, I simply do not mention it. If I rule Friday out, I decide it is not a possible choice.
Same exclusion branch, different action.
Exactly. A semantic map groups related endings. It does not erase the difference between the verbs.
What about cut out?
If you cut a photograph out of a magazine, the scissors create a real boundary and remove the picture. If you cut one paragraph out of a report, the paragraph is removed from the final text.
And cut out sugar can mean stop including it in what you eat.
Yes, although cut out has other conventional meanings too. Context still chooses the branch.
Quick test. Your presentation has 12 slides, but slide 6 repeats slide 5. What might you do?
Cut slide 6 out or leave it out of the final presentation.
Your team considers 3 suppliers. One cannot deliver before the deadline.
Rule that supplier out.
Now picture a jar full of coffee. As long as coffee remains inside, it is available.
Each morning, you take some out. One day, the jar is empty.
We have run out of coffee.
No coffee is running. Run out is a conventional phrasal verb. Cambridge defines it as using or finishing all of something so that none remains.
We can say, we ran out of coffee, or the coffee ran out. Those patterns view the same shortage from different angles.
We can also run out of time, money, ideas, or patience. The container is no longer physical, but the idea of an available supply remains.
This branch is sometimes described as no more. No more of the useful thing is available.
But be careful. Out does not always mean completely, and it does not automatically make every verb stronger.
The whole expression and situation create the meaning.
Now consider wear out. A pair of shoes slowly becomes damaged through use until it is no longer usable.
The shoes wear out. Their usable life reaches its end.
A long day can also wear a person out. In current English, that means make the person extremely tired.
My energy supply feels empty, even if I am not literally a battery.
That is a good memory picture. as long as we label it a picture.
And die out?
Cambridge defines die out as becoming less common and finally stopping existing. We use it for a species, tradition, custom, or repeated practice, not normally for one individual person.
Die already contains the idea of death. What does out add?
It helps present the disappearance across the whole group or practice until none remains. Again, the exact construction matters.
A person dies. A species can die out.
Good contrast.
Then there is the light went out.
Here, the light is no longer active or visible. This resembles the no more branch, but its grammar is not identical to every verb particle example we have discussed.
That is worth saying. Related meaning does not guarantee identical grammar.
Right. Be out of coffee, and a separable phrase such as take it out all contain the same small word, but they do not have the same structure.
The map connects meaning. Grammar tells us how each expression behaves.
We are ready for the expressions that feel least physical. Work out, sort out, and figure out.
They often lead to a result that becomes clear, settled, or usable.
We worked out the cost. The calculation reached an answer.
We sorted out the schedule. The confused schedule became organized or resolved.
We figured out the problem. The problem became understood, or we found its solution.
The visibility and accessibility branches can help us remember these. An unclear problem is like a closed space. A result becomes available.
Still, do not replace the dictionary with that picture. Workout, alone, has several current meanings.
I work out 3 times a week means I exercise.
The plan worked out means it developed successfully.
The total works out to $50 means calculation produces that amount.
And we worked out a plan means we developed or decided the plan through thought.
One spelling, several stored patterns.
This is why a deep explanation needs 2 truths at the same time.
First, phrasal verbs are not simply random. The verb, particle, and situation often create connected meaning.
Second, a connection does not make every phrase fully predictable. Frequent combinations become conventional. Speakers remember the whole unit, as well as its parts.
So what should an adult learner do when meeting a new expression?
Use the map to create a careful guess. Then check 3 things in a learner's dictionary: the exact meaning, the grammar pattern, and the example sentence.
Do not write 10 translations on a card and call the job finished.
Write one short situation. For example, the meeting was confusing, but we sorted the schedule out.
Then draw the ending. A messy group of time blocks becomes one clear plan.
Meaning, scene, and grammar together.
Does research prove that this method will make everyone remember faster?
No. One classroom study did not show a reliable delayed advantage for remembering the particles. The map is an organizing tool, not a guarantee. You still need repeated listening, retrieval, and use in different situations.
I like that answer. Less magic, more useful work.
And fewer isolated lists.
Before the prediction round, one grammar pattern will make your English sound much more natural.
Many transitive phrasal verbs with out are separable. With a noun, we can often say, take out the card, or take the card out.
When the direct object of a separable phrasal verb is a personal pronoun, put it between the verb and particle. Take it out.
Not take out it.
Point it out. Leave it out. Figure it out. Rule it out.
A long object usually sounds more comfortable after the particle. We need to sort out the problems that appeared during last month's schedule change.
Some out expressions have no direct object. The secret got out. Our time ran out. The old custom died out.
A learner's dictionary tells you which pattern belongs to each meaning.
Now close your eyes if you are not driving, cooking, walking near traffic, or pretending to work during a video call.
That last group may keep one eye open.
Situation 1. Your team prints 20 maps. One person gives a map to every visitor. Which expression fits?
Hand them out. The maps move outward from one center to several people.
Situation 2. A small mistake is already on the page, but no one has noticed it. Nora directs everyone's attention to it.
She points it out. The mistake becomes noticeable to them.
Situation 3. Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday are possible meeting days. The office is closed on Tuesday.
Rule Tuesday out. It leaves the set of possible choices.
Situation 4. You check the cupboard, but no tea remains.
We've run out of tea. The available supply has reached 0.
Situation 5. A private email becomes known to the whole office.
The email got out. Hidden information became known.
Situation 6. Your travel plan looks impossible. After 20 minutes, you discover a route that works.
You figured it out, or you worked out a route. The thinking reached a usable result.
How many branches did we just use?
Outward distribution, visibility, exclusion, no more, knowledge, resolution.
And every answer began with the same 3 questions.
What does the verb contribute? What boundary or state is present? What is true at the end?
Then we check the expression, because the map gives us a reasoned guess, not permission to invent English.
That is the real answer to our listener. English adds out, because the particle can shape the path, viewpoint, boundary, or result of the event. Sometimes the contribution is easy to see. Sometimes the whole expression has become a stored unit.
When you meet a new phrase, do not ask only, what does this translate to? Ask, what changed between the beginning and the end?
If this map helped, leave us one expression with out that still puzzles you. We may use it in a future listener letter.
The next stop in small words, big meanings is off. Distance, separation, stopping, and why an alarm can go off when it starts making noise.
Subscribe so you can continue the series. I'm Nora.
And I'm Eli.
This is Dear English Radio. Keep the map, check the sentence, and we'll meet you in the next program.